We used to say most of the time the village. We wouldn't even say Goose, but the village. Where you come from? I come from the village. Pretty much 50 Irish, 50% Italians, all immigrants that immigrated from either Ireland or Italy. After the war, there wasn't much work, I suppose, over there, and a lot of people made their way to North America. The States was closed for immigration, so Canada was their only option. So that's basically how everybody got here. Especially that's how the Goose Village was formed.
Hurry up. Okay, here I go. Yay! I want it all before you did. I did. No, I did.
My father used to say, when people ask you where you're from, you say you're from Victoriatown, not the Goose Village. But nobody used Victoriatown. Only if it came to something legitimate like schooling, you had to say Victoriatown. Now, at the time of the reunions, and I had the reunions, I was trying to figure out where did the Goose Village come, because everybody called it Goose Village. And you had to be from the Goose Village to know where you were talking about. So I found out that at that time, the Grey Nuns had raised geese down by the St. Lawrence way back when, and they were there with the Indians. Oh, this all comes about that when the Irish came over with the potato famine. So this is where the nickname Goose Village came from these nuns raising geese by the St. Lawrence River.
There was no comparison. Goose Village is always the Goose Village. It was good.
I would say it would be the tightness of the people that used to be together. We used to everybody knew each other. Because I remember Villamart, it wasn't exactly the same. It was better than it is today, but it wasn't like the village. In Villamart, people kept more to themselves. They didn't know the neighbors. The way we used to know them in Goose Village. That's what I thought was different, was unique to the village.
In the village in the summertime, you used to go for a walk. And sometimes if you go for a walk, it would take you 3 hours to walk. Because everybody would be sitting at their door, and by the time you say hello and how are you to this one, and then you go to the next one and the next one, it'd take you 2-3 hours to just go for a walk in the village.
Yeah. Or come in, would you like a glass of kick? Would you like a glass of Coke? No, I gotta go. I said, my father's waiting for me. Yeah, he could wait. I said, yeah, I know. My father said, gee, send you for a loaf of bread. We're gonna come back tomorrow. Back then, too, we had a lot of house parties because we couldn't, if it was my girlfriend's birthday, your mother would say, well, so-and-so's birthday, come on over. She says, I'll bake a cake and we'll have cake and Coke. Cake, I should say. Cake and cake. Cake was the biggest thing. And we played records and we danced in the house and things like that. And an awful lot of house parties. An awful lot of, it used to be so funny because the Saturday nights, all the guys, they were older then, and so they had jobs and they'd go out and clubbing and stuff like that. But come Sunday morning, they were right there at their mass, Oh yeah, they were right there at their mass. They had that sense of security about themselves too, that this is the right thing to do. We had great morals. Mm-hmm. That was embedded in us. There was nothing, we had self-respect. You don't see that too often today. And respect for others, they went hand in hand. So with that, you kind of grow up with a sense of togetherness.
The Goose Village was built, what I think was more like England-style English. All the houses stuck together with the sidewalk and a street. So there was nothing like we know today where there's a little bit of grass. There was no grass there was sidewalk, asphalt, and that was it, not even trees.
We had the stockyards.
That was another thing that we had in the village.
All the live animals, they had a stockyard, and every Tuesday they used to skin, and the smell, it penetrated. It penetrates. So if you speak with anybody that came from the Goose Village, they'll tell you about the smell that came every Tuesday. But everybody seemed to be healthy back then.
Very
even
healthy. We were all healthy.
Yeah.
There was Canada Packers from Mill Streets. Sometimes they used to burn the bones from the animals and that was a bad smell. There was another place on the corner of Forfar and Riverside that was that did the hides, you know, from the cows, the animals, the hides. They would treat that. That would smell. And I remember my mother used to hang out her laundry on the line, and sometimes the laundry came in the house more dirty than when she put it out, because when the boats used to come in at Dominion Coal, the cranes used to go in, and there used to be coal dust. And oh yes, my mother never said, "Wait, I'm not going to hang the clothes if there's any, if the cranes are working today."
We used to have the big furnace in the middle of the house.
As a stove.
A stove, and then we used to have the pipes run from right across from one room to the other, so that the heat would generate. But then it was a wooden stove, a coal stove. 4 o'clock in the morning, there was nobody putting wood and nobody putting coal. It started to freeze. I used to get up in the morning. My blanket used to be attached to the wall in the ice.
Oh, really?
Huh? We didn't have windows like today.
Well, the windows in the wintertime, we could never look out the window. They were frozen from the inside, a sheet of ice.
I remember we had one big bedroom that we slept in, the three of us, and there was one big double bed, and then there was another little bed that was supposed to be mine, but I never wanted it because I didn't want to sleep alone. I always slept with my sister Emily, and my sister Roberta slept in that other bed. And there was a window.
Yeah,
but the window didn't look right outside. It looked
on a
into
gallery.
it was another like enclosed
gallery.
gallery.
Yeah, an enclosed gallery.
For the coal, to put the coal in there to heat yourself in the winter.
Yeah.
You know, there was one little stove. You know, the rest of the rooms were freezing, but that's in the kitchen. You get warmed up
that's
there.
where we were all the time, like in the
And
near
we
the
grew
stove.
up,
I remember that, and the bathroom was right
yeah.
at the end. This time
And
it
yeah.
didn't come
No,
like the other one.
We had the kitchen
And then the bathroom.
we had I remember that bathroom. It was very, very nice. We had the bathtub in it,
Yeah.
the toilet, and then there was a nice little
Bathtub.
window that looked
Outside.
outdoors, out to the little
Yeah,
garden.
yeah,
my
my
father
garden.
and his garden with the tomatoes. You know what I remember though? I remember the wine season.
Oh,
My
yeah, we
father
used-
made his own
wine,
wine. That
yeah.
I remember more in a sense because it was really smelling.
It
Oh,
smells
when
good.
that starts to ferment.
It's good for your coal.
Wow,
It's good
your
for the
house had a
coal.
distinct
Yeah.
smell.
That's what we remember. It's coming
Yeah.
back from school.
And it was like in the cellar. You know, you opened up the trap door. It was in the ground. You know, you open up the trap door and then you go in. It wasn't like here where you to
Yeah.
open up a door this way. No, you got to go down. It was always a little bit scary.
Most of those old buildings were scary, okay?
They were spooky.
Spooky. I saw a ghost. You know, that was the type. When you see the curtain move, there's somebody behind it. My sister wouldn't go to bed. She was scared. I'm not joking. That's the kind of buildings they were.
The grass in the park was, well, whatever used to grow. It wasn't even good grass. It was just wild grass, whatever grew. And that was it. Well, not even in the park there was any trees that I remember.
Okay, you go again. Hurry up. I made it. I did too. Come on.
We didn't have no swimming pools in the park or even a water fountain or anything. What he used to do was he used to go across the street and there was a water hydrant. He opened up the water hydrant and put this piece of was like a shower, and the shower would go up and all the kids would go on the street with their bathing suit. And then he said, "Now when I shut the water off, me to get off the street, there's a car coming." So he would shut the water and all the kids would be running off the street. The car go by and the water go back on again. And we used to have our street dances. Sometimes on a Saturday night, they would string some like Christmas tree lights across the street, and one guy would have like a Winnebago, Joe Berlitano. He would have a Winnebago, and he would provide the music because this fella, Joe Berlitano, he was the director of the Boys and Girls Club.
The Boys and Girls Club was a good place to go because after school it gave you activities and they planned bus trips, whatever. And
What kind of activities were there?
well, there was ping pong. There was, our Friday night, Saturday night dances. We had a lot of dances, street dances too. My cousin sang a lot and she'd have a band sometime and they'd sit on the set up in the summertime on the street, and we'd have street dances.
Every Thursday, they showed us a free movie, and we used to get bags of chips. It was on this big, big wall.
Yes,
And,
in the summertime, of
in
course.
the summer, and it was always free, like Thursday
It was like
night,
an outdoor
I think
movie.
it was.
The beginning, like not a what do they call those?
Drive-in.
A drive-in.
Yeah.
But you didn't drive. You just walked in, and
Yeah.
you know, you brought a chair,
And
you
it was
watched
nice.
the movie.
Everybody would bring their own chair, and we would sit there. I mean, even the parents came too.
The biggest thrill in the village once you had money was to go on Bridge Street and Conway. I forget the name of the restaurant, but had the best fish and chips. Mrs. Brio used to make the fish and chips, melt in your mouth. Now, I knew she worked there, but she didn't own it, and I just don't know who owned it.
I think I have a picture of it.
Yeah. Fish and chips in town. I can taste that right now.
When it was apple picking season, I remember going to an Irish lady's home. Even now, if I could have one of these.
Toffees.
And we used to go up 3 flights of stairs,
Yeah.
like on the inside. I don't know if
Yeah,
you know what it's like.
those
It was quite
houses.
but when we reached the top and we had our 5 cents, we gave her our 5 cents, and she would give us a taffy apple.
To die for.
You don't
Honest,
know
yeah,
how good
I
that
could still taste
and they used to
it.
put it on the wax. She used to put it on the wax paper.
Yeah.
I don't know how she made it. I don't know how to make
It
taffy.
was delicious.
And on the wax paper, she would spread real butter, no such thing as margarine, real butter. And when you first licked it, it was like a little, you know,
Oh
a
my
little
gosh.
umbrella at the top, the apple with the stick. Eh? And when you licked that top of that taffy apple,
You were in heaven.
I don't know the taste where that taste
It's
went.
true, it's true.
It was always in us. They used to say you could take them out of the village, but you can't take the village out of the people. So, you know, it's still there. It's still embedded, ingrained so deep, you know. It's still to today, because we have people in our parish who are from the village. And when we go back, it's like talking like as if we never left there. We still reminisce. We could talk all night reminiscing. And everybody will have a different story.
And when you have something unique, you can't say, I'm going to make another one. How can you make something that's already unique?
Yeah.
Like you could build houses, but a house is not a home, really. It's the people that lived inside of these homes that made up the Goose Village. It wasn't the house.
Because we had love for each other. I think that's the key. Love and respect for each other in the village. And that's why I say there's nothing, and there will never be another village, no matter what. You know? No matter what.